I know what you're saying. Wow, this guy looks super young. But you're wrong. I am. Or you're right. I'm 51 years old, and I want to show you guys what my top 3 things would I do to stay fit for 2025. So if your goal is to lose weight, gain weight, get in better shape for 2025, well, I hope this video helps you. Okay, so I'm waiting to do this video, and well, here it is. So I want to start off with tip number 1 is going to the grocery store regularly. You have to surround yourself with the right foods all the time. Meal prep is key, and having the right foods and not all the wrong foods in the house makes a huge difference, whether you're trying to lose weight, gain weight, be on some sort of meal plan or just overall health. So every week I go the same day. So if it's easier for you to go a couple times a week, do that. I go 1 time a week. I always go on Sundays, and it's just a habit. I go at the same time every single time, so I get to know all the same people at the grocery store, which is kind of cool, I guess. But I get a lot of the same things, but I make an easy list. I have a little note thing I keep on my phone, and I put all the foods I would normally get. And then every time before I go, I do a little inventory, and I go, okay, yeah, I got one already in stock in my refrigerator, so I don't need one of those today. Okay, I'm out of 9% ground turkey. Okay, so 2's how many I usually get, so we'll add 2. And it makes it easy and quick to keep things fresh and buy the right stuff or not buy stuff you've got a whole bunch of. And it's just a simple little list I keep on my phone that makes it easy to go to the grocery store. So that way, I get a lot of the same foods. I admit, I eat a lot of the same things, but if you follow my channel, you'll see I do create some different recipes that kind of shake things up a little bit, do something a little different. If you got a chocolate craving, I'll create something that's chocolate that's still good and healthy, but I get a lot of the same stuff. So, for instance, I always buy big chicken breasts, and I go to the main meat department to get these, and I cook everything on the griddle. So these come really thick, and they just cook better. It's easier to just cut them down the middle, so they don't take as long to cook. Actually, they still taste really good because they're not 2 inches thick. They're like an inch thick by the time you cut them in half. So I usually get 6 or 7 chicken breasts, big thick chicken breasts, and I cut them in half because I want to keep my chicken fresh every day. So there's chicken breasts I always get every single week. Now, I always like to get onions and peppers, so typically I'll get a white onion and some red peppers, some green peppers, and I'll slice them up and I'll put them on the grill, and I'll mix those in with some chicken, some beef. I make breakfast burritos, all that kind of stuff. So it gives it just added a little flavor without adding a lot of calories, and it's adding some vegetables in there too, because you want to add vegetables in like green beans and broccoli and things of that nature. So again, you're trying to have as many fresh fruits and vegetables, adding some greens. If you don't count your stuff, I highly recommend counting what you're actually consuming depending on your goals, because then you can really fine tune and see why you're not getting certain results. So I always get some blueberries, and again, I love blueberries in my yogurt, and then I also make overnight oats. So again, fresh fruits and vegetables, and then I like the Oikos yogurt. Get whatever you like. I always get some vanilla, some strawberry, I get some mixed berry, but I make overnight oats with them. Usually I do 4 or so at a time, and then I'll leave the vanillas to put just a little bit of, man, I love these little granolas. I don't put too much of this in it, because it's a little bit high in carbs, not too bad, but I just put usually a spoonful in, and it's like a parfait or something. I always grab one of these bad boys as one of my ending meals and put a spoonful or so of this. I like the peanut butter cluster, because anything with peanut butter, man, you can't go wrong. So just again, it's almost like a super healthy snack, but it's part of one of my meals. But I also put this as a topper in my overnight oats, just to add a little crunch. I never pour. Here's a tip: if you make overnight oats and you add something like this in it, don't add this like when you make the overnight oats. Make the overnight oats, put it in a jar, put it in the refrigerator, and then when it's time to eat them, then sprinkle on. Then you get the nice crunch. Don't put this in the jar and let it sit and put a lid on it and store it in the refrigerator. It won't be nasty, but it won't be as good. You won't get that crunch. Now, I love peanut butter, and I just do not like the natural peanut butter that you buy in a jar from whatever manufacturer. It's super oily. You got to keep stirring. Heck with that. My grocery store offers those you know, you can actually choose, you know, peanuts that you pull the lever or push a button and it squeezes it into a container like this. So super fresh. It's not adding anything in it. It's not oily or nothing like that. But they have, you know, they have peanut butter in bulk like this that you know, push the button, and then they also have one that has, it's like a honey nut, maybe a little sugar nut. I'm not sure. It's my favorite, but plain peanut butter, this is the best way to go in my opinion. You know, I gotta add a little bit of green with some guac. You know, guac goes in so many different things. I put it on my breakfast burritos. I put it on my eggs just to give a little flavor, and it's really good for you as well. So again, trying to have all those healthy options. Find a good seasoning. We like the rotisserie chicken. We do a lot of different seasonings just to, you know, change up your seasonings. Don't use the same stuff all the time. So when you're sprinkling it on your chicken or your beef or whatever you're cooking meat-wise, change it up. Just so you're not having the same flavor all the time. I mean, I know it's your favorite, but change it up. And then we always get barbecue. We love barbecue. Now, we love no sugar added. So it's all about your options. Get the correct stuff that's not adding a bunch of junk in your meal plan. So we get the raised, no sugar added. They have a couple of different ones that we really like, but the sweet and smoky is probably our favorite. So we get this every single time. We go through quite a bit of barbecue because we're putting it on our chicken breast typically. So rice cakes, I usually eat a few rice cakes for my carbs because it's simple. I'm on the go all the time, so you want to base your meal plan off of, you know, if you can cook things in the afternoon or warm things up. I eat a lot of my meals cold, so I'll get a couple of different ones. I usually get the butter popcorn and the everything. These are probably two of my favorites. Those others, the macros are just a little bit different. Just get the one that you think you're going to like the best. That has the macros that fit for you. But these two seem to work pretty well. One rice cake on this one's 50 calories, and then one rice cake on this one, the popcorn one, is 35. So it's a little bit, this has probably got the best macros of all the rice cakes from Quaker. So I usually get one of each just to kind of alternate, not so I'm eating the same stuff all the time. But this is usually what I'll use as a carb source on 2 of my meals. So to change things up. Egg whites. Can't have, you know, a meal plan without egg whites, right? So I do egg whites all the time for my breakfast meal. I'll pour egg whites in an 8-inch pan, cook them, and then I'll add a little of that guacamole to them. Super good. And then sometimes I'll do the same thing at night. And then one of my meals also, I may do this as an omelet. Matter of fact, my breakfast burritos also has egg whites in it as well. You could use 2 eggs and separate them. Again, I like a little bit of convenience, and these actually, I keep going down in price, and I keep seeing regular eggs go up in price, so which is kind of wild. So I like convenience, so I just use this. It's just easy to weigh out 140 grams or whatever I'm doing to whatever meal. So, and just to add some more meat, I use 99% fat-free turkey. I usually get 1 or 2 packages of this. Sometimes I'll just cook it on the stovetop and I'll eat it just plain with seasoning. I may add a little bit of barbecue sauce to it, green peppers, onions, whatever on top as well. And then sometimes I make all my breakfast burritos out of it, which again, I'll add guacamole, eggs, onions, green peppers, that kind of stuff to a whole wheat carb balance tortilla, which I didn't get in this shopping trip. So you're not seeing all the groceries, you're seeing what I got today to fill in what I didn't really have. So each week you're gonna see a little bit of difference and variation because I didn't need some of those things. Quaker oats, I always just get the old fashioned. I don't get instant. And I know some people say you should get the organic ones, but I get these, it's fine. I use these for 2 different recipes primarily. If you've checked my channel out before, and it's my favorite meal or favorite item that I make, which is my oatmeal brownie bites. I call them something different every single time, but I think I call them oatmeal chocolate chip brownie bites. They're super awesome. It has a little peanut butter on it, natural peanut butter, of course, but it's my favorite. But I use that for the oats for that, and then I also use the oats for overnight oats, of course. And then that's what the almond milk is. We use it for mostly for overnight oats. I do use it for my oatmeal chocolate chip brownie bites or brownies. And then we're also getting back into doing our protein ice cream. And so we're gonna use a lot more of this. So that's why I got a couple things. So I have 2 of them. We already had one in the refrigerator. So I was told to bump up the par, bump up the inventory level one more, so because we're gonna start making a lot more ice cream again. So we'll use that for protein ice cream. So check out some videos coming up soon for that. And then Crystal Light, I drink a lot of water, and I try to not put too many flavorings or artificial flavorings in. So I'll use this every once in a while, like once a day, usually during my pre-workout, just to get me another 16 to 24 ounces of water in. I try to drink at least a gallon a day, but something to add a little flavor. I do all kinds of different things to continue to drink lots of water. So lots of stuff here, and I already showed you guys the 000 yogurt. And again, those are just primarily eat standalone or with my overnight oats. So again, guys, it's very important to have all the right foods. I mean, if you're a cheat person, if it's there and you eat it, get it out of the house. I mean, if you're trying to really lose weight or really get on plan for 2025, you got to make some changes with that. So we used to keep all kinds of crap in the house, and our excuse was it's for the kids. But no. Now, if there was cookies in there, we were eating it. And if you were trying to find something to snack on, we were eating it. So go to the grocery store and get healthier options and just have those in the house. It's just so easy to eat other things if they're easily available, like all the rest of it. Because if you're going to choose between a healthy snack, most likely, and some good old chocolate chip cookies or a real brownie or some other candy or whatever it may be, most of the time you're probably going to choose the wrong one. So just don't give yourself those options. It just makes things so much easier. So again, this is my biggest tip. They're all big tips. I'm giving you 3 major tips today. One of the biggest ones, of course, is surround yourself with the right foods. Always have, your meals with you, and then make sure that you change things up so you don't just binge and cheat and never stay on plan. So with that being said, you got to track it. So whether it's writing it down, if you have a hard time keeping track of things, I highly suggest using MyFitnessPal. I use the pro versions because I'm always adding my own recipes and creating recipes and meals in there, so it's easier to track and copy and paste and all that kind of thing. So if you don't use anything, I'd highly suggest, I don't get anything for it, MyFitnessPal, so you can actually see what you eat. How can you track your exact progress, especially if you're just getting into this as far as being healthy, if you don't track the numbers, if you don't know the calories, the fats, the carbs. People say macros, and most of you guys probably know what macros is, and way smarter than me and all this stuff. But just for simplicity, macros is carbs, fats, and proteins. How many of those you taking in? And then you'll probably want to keep track of how much fiber as well. But those are your top 3. So you need to know what your total calories that you're taking in, your proteins, carbs, and fat, because depending on your routine with your training, your cardio, and what your goals are, those numbers really, really matter. So let's move on to tip number 2. My next tip, or number 2, would be just train. Now, some of you love to train, and I'm not really speaking to you because it's super easy for you to go to the gym and lift the weights and do crazy supersets and drop sets and monster sets and all those fun things. But there's a lot of you that are scared of the gym for the most part, or don't go to a gym, don't have a gym, don't have a membership, and you just gotta find a way to either have some equipment at home, whether it's a few dumbbells or whatever, or join a gym near your house, or find a friend or hire a trainer if you're able to do that. Just someone that can help you get through all the exercises and show you how to properly do your exercises and create some fun for you, because if you don't enjoy working out or training or doing your cardio, then you won't do it for very long. So whatever your goal is, lose weight, gain weight, all those sort of things, you're gonna have to enjoy going or exercising in those ways. So you're gonna have to find if you really like to run, if you like the Stairmaster, if you like the treadmill, or cardio is just not your thing, and you gotta find other ways to get your heart rate up and burn calories. So whatever those things are for you, you just gotta make it fun, because if you don't enjoy it, you're just not gonna do it. and especially not consistently. So that would be my second bit of advice: is find a gym that you like, find a way that you can exercise regularly, and if you don't know how to exercise, find someone who does, either with a trainer or YouTube videos, and just do good form and try not to be the ego lifter that trying to lift way more than you can lift and hurt yourself. So you're trying to ask yourself, I have no time to work out. When would that ever happen? Well, a lot of gyms are 24/7. So for me personally, I like to go super early before going to work and do all my meetings and doing all the things I usually do for the day. So for me, I have a habit of getting up super early, and I'm at the gym at 5:15. So that works for me. I got an hour and a half in the gym. I do my cardio usually right after my workout. So you have to find the time that works for you, whether it's late in the evening, early in the morning, afternoon, but something that you can hit consistently and not interfere with your daily stuff, because we know anything that interferes is going to come first. And guess what? You don't train, you don't work out, you don't do your cardio, and you're not achieving your goals. So you got to figure out what's important and plan accordingly. So we're on to the third and final tip for 2025 for my fitness goals, fitness journey, and hopefully to help you guys out. Now, this is obviously the easiest or most, I would say, obvious goal or tip, as you may, and that is consistency. Let me tell you, that is key to no matter what you do. I don't care what it is, consistency. So many people go, man, I worked out this week. I'm not buff. Or, hey, man, this week I watched my weight. I ate this certain things. I did cardio 3 times. Why didn't my weight change for 1 week? So, no matter what you do, you got to be consistent. I'm not talking 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. Consistently. I mean, this. You get better results going in small increments over a longer period of time, whether it's gaining weight, losing weight, all those sort of things. But the key is to be consistent. And I'm saying consistent in everything you do. Consistent in the water intake. Consistent in the food you take. How many calories you're taking in. Consistently, do all those right things. Consistently in the gym a certain amount of days a week. Consistently doing your cardio a certain amount of times a week. You got to be consistent. So, as obvious as that is, and as obviously should be the number one tip for anything, and the obvious one, in my opinion, is just being consistent. And it's the hardest thing too, because it's so easy to say, just be consistent. But it's the hardest thing for people to do, because they'll try to go out of the way to figure out how to do something one time or to get through this week. But then to make it a regular thing, to make this part of their flow, their daily, from the time they get up to the time they go to bed, just how does it work within their own their self, going from appointment to work to home, all those things. How does it work? And so again, everyone is different. You got to figure that out for yourself. But the biggest number one take, if you get anything from this video, is you got to be consistent. I mean, look yourself in the mirror and go, am I consistent? Because if not, we got to change. And what do we do to make that happen? Write it down. Be old school. Whatever new high-tech thing you can do to track your consistency, or just old school, write it down on a notepad, on your calendar, whatever it may be. You got to be consistent, and doing so, big things will happen for you as far as you achieving your goals, getting the things that you want to get in life, whether those may be. So hope that's one thing you guys take from this video, is just being consistent, because again, it's so easy to say it, but it is so hard because so many things come in the way. I hear excuses like nobody's business. If anybody's followed me or on my channel and seen my meal bag or my gym bag, it has all kinds of stuff about being consistent on my bag, and it's a constant reminder. No excuses is one of my badges that's on my bag. No excuses to be, to not be consistent. No excuses. What? Don't let. We know that it's going to rain. We know that there's going to be a bad day. That we know, what do you do to move from that? What do you do to prepare for that? And it's all about consistency, being consistent. And I'm very my dogs have learned what I do on a daily basis. What time I leave each morning, when I pack my bag, and how I load the car, when I load my car, and then when I put my jacket on before I leave. My dogs even know everything I do. So make yourself very much habit-like to create or to achieve your goals by being consistent and finding what works best for you, because everyone is different. So anyway, guys, I'm not going to harp on being consistent any longer, because that's the number one thing, and again, the hardest thing. But I just want you guys to hopefully enjoy this video, and stay tuned, because I'm going to start showing all kinds of things that I'm going to do in my journey as I'm 51, moving on to the next level in my fitness, starting my mini cut, new recipes that's going to fit within macro planning. So until next time, hope you see you on the next one. See ya.